Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak has his sights set on silverware, and that could spell trouble for the Magpies. With Liverpool ready to break the British transfer record to land the Swedish star, Isak's desire to win trophies and secure a bumper contract may be pushing him closer to Anfield. The 25-year-old has privately expressed frustration at Newcastle's refusal to negotiate, while his absence from the club's pre-season tour has only added fuel to the fire. Arne Slot reportedly dreams of pairing Isak with new 69 million man Hugo Ekitike in a bold new attack, but will the Reds meet the staggering 150 million valuation? Here's everything we know so far. Want-away Newcastle striker Alexander Isak previously outlined his ambitions to win titles, with Premier League champions Liverpool gearing up to make their move. The Reds have wasted no time in sharpening their squad for the upcoming season with a series of high-profile and expensive acquisitions, and they still want the Swedish striker through the doors at Anfield. With Liverpool ready to show their hand, Isak's head has been turned, but maybe the clues to Isak's future were there all along. As speaking back in March, the 25-year-old communicated his desire to land the game's biggest trophies. While he acknowledged his commitment to the Magpies, his words suggest that Isak is perhaps looking for a level of success and a contract that Newcastle simply cannot supply right now, with the club having been hamstrung by PSR profit and sustainability regulations. I've said many times, I don't really look too much or think too much about my future, Isak said 4 months back. Making clear his desire to win top-level silverware, he continued, "But yeah, I've said I'm happy here, and we are contenders for titles, which is what you want to win as a football player. The chances are there to win things. Yeah, as I've said, I'm not thinking about the summer, but that will be a talking point when the season is finished. No contract talks have been held yet. I have high ambitions. I'm trying to create my own history at Newcastle. Happy with what I have done so far, but always looking forward." Isak is now believed to be privately frustrated after Liverpool's initial approach was rebuffed by the North East side, as per Sky Sports. Last week, Newcastle boss Eddie Howe confirmed that Isak would not be joining Newcastle's pre-season tour after the player informed the club he wanted to explore his options regarding his future. The Swede's absence was blamed on a minor thigh issue, but this followed an episode where Isak was sent home ahead of Newcastle's 4-0 pre-season defeat to Celtic, with Howe judging that the player wasn't in the right frame of mind to play following speculation over his future. Events were then complicated by Liverpool's capture of Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt for an initial €69 million to a player who was extensively chased by Newcastle. Isak reportedly saw this as a possible end to his hopes of moving to Anfield. However, it seems that Reds boss Arne Slot is looking to structure an audacious system that features Isak and his new French striker. In his 3 years at Newcastle, Isak has become an icon. He has scored 62 goals and helped them win the Carabao Cup last season, beating the very club in the final he purportedly wishes to join this summer. Yet Isak's ambitions are clear and speak volumes. He wants to win trophies, and as one of the Premier League's best strikers, he also wants to earn a befitting wage, with upwards of £250,000 per week said to be his target. Earlier this month, Isak's agent, Gonzalo Gaitan, told Saudi Arabian publication Ariadia that Isak's future may be coming to a conclusion sooner rather than later. "We are indeed studying and analysing all options," he said. "We may be close to finalising the next step for the player, without revealing any details regarding whether Isak will transfer or stay with Newcastle." Yet for all the bluster and might of Liverpool's current power in the transfer market, still, no bid has materialised yet. Isak also has 3 years left to run on his current deal. Newcastle are also believed to value the player at $150 million, meaning Liverpool will most likely have to shatter the British transfer record, again, by some margin, to drag a deal over the line. Quizzed on Isak's future this week, Howe said, "He is still our player. He's contracted to us. We, to a degree, control what is next for him. I would love to believe all possibilities are still available to us. My wish is that he stays, but that's not in my full control. We have not received a formal offer for Alex from any club. My wish is that he stays and we see him playing again next year." Liverpool's transfer window just went up a level. After big-name arrivals like Jeremy Frimpong, Florian Wirtz and Milos Kerkez, the Reds are far from finished. With Luis Diaz on the verge of a £70 move to Bayern Munich, Arne Slot is already preparing for what's next. The biggest headline? A British record £150 move for Newcastle striker Alexander Isak continues to build momentum, and even Eddie Howe is sounding uncertain about his future. Meanwhile, Liverpool have missed out on young star Malik Fofana, who's in talks with Everton. Let's break down the latest from Anfield's transfer frenzy. Liverpool have already made some big moves in the transfer market this summer, but Arne Slot and co are not done yet if recent noise is anything to go by. Jeremy Frimpong, Florian Wirtz, Milos Kerkez and Hugo Ekitike have all been signed up to bolster a squad which won the Premier League title last term, and more incomings are expected between now and the transfer deadline. The Reds are understood to be keen on signing a centre-back after selling Jarol Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen earlier this summer. And speculation linking Liverpool with a British record £150 million transfer for Alexander Isak simply refuses to go away. Eddie Howe has confirmed that there is no chance that Arsenal target Alexander Isak will join Newcastle on their pre-season tour of the Far East amid the current speculation over the striker's future. The Swede, 25, has been heavily linked with Liverpool this summer, and it emerged last week that he would not be joining Newcastle overseas, with the player keen to explore his options. Speaking after Sunday's 3-2 loss to Newcastle in Singapore, Howe was asked whether the club's star striker would be heading out to join them and replied, no chance, indicating that a parting of the ways could indeed be on the cards. Liverpool have agreed a deal in principle with Bayern Munich for the transfer of Luis Diaz. The Colombia winger, 28, has been linked with a move overseas in recent weeks and also had interest from Barcelona. It has also been noted that Diaz is keen on the idea of moving clubs this summer, though Liverpool were reluctant to sell. But the Guardian say Diaz is now close to leaving Liverpool after Bayern lodged a 70 per month bid for the attacker, who was left out of the team that lost 4-2 to AC Milan on Saturday. Liverpool-linked Malik Fofana is now in talks to join Everton from Lyon this summer. The Reds and other of the Premier League's top clubs have been credited with an interest the uber-talented winger, who has scored 15 goals in 62 games for Lyon. The Athletic have confirmed that Everton and Lyon are in talks over a package for the 20-year-old with the Toffees, also in contact with the players' camp to try and reach an agreement for a transfer. Virgil van Dijk has just dropped a major transfer hint. Despite Liverpool spending a whopping £265 million on 7 new signings, the Reds may not be finished in the summer market. Hugo Ekitike is the latest big money arrival at Anfield, joining Wirtz, Frimpong, Mamadashvili, Kerkez, Pesci and Woodman. But now, all eyes are on Alexander Isak, with the Swedish striker reportedly ready to leave Newcastle after Liverpool's approach. Speaking from Hong Kong, Van Dijk made it clear more moves could be coming, and with key players like Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz and Harvey Elliott potentially leaving, there could be room and budget for one more blockbuster signing. Is Isak about to become Arne Slot's 8th summer edition? Let's break it all down. Virgil van Dijk has hinted that Liverpool are not done yet in the summer transfer window. The Reds have splashed £265 million on 7 signings so far, following the arrival of Hugo Ekitike, but still have the money in the bank to add further players to Arne Slot's squad. Ekitike is the latest player to join the defending Premier League champions, who will pay Eintracht Frankfurt $69 million, plus a further $10 million in potential add-ons. He has followed Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, Milos Kerkez, Armin Pesci and Freddie Woodman to the club this summer, while Georgi Mamadashvili has also arrived after spending last season on loan with Valencia. Liverpool have managed to recruit heavily this summer due to their quiet transfer window before last season, and with Darwin Núñez, Luis Diaz and Harvey Elliott all potentially leaving, they could still afford a blockbuster deal for Newcastle deal Alexander Isak. The Reds made an inquiry about Isak last week before pushing ahead to sign Ekitike, and the Swedish striker has now informed Newcastle that he wants to explore his options. He has been left out of the Magpies' pre-season tour amid reports he could be sold if their £125 million valuation is met. And speaking on Liverpool's pre-season tour in Hong Kong after Ekitike's arrival, Van Dijk suggested the club aren't yet in the transfer window. Asked how the club can ensure they lift the Premier League trophy again, he told the Anfield Wrap this season, "We all start from scratch. I think everyone has tried to improve their teams, and we as well. I think we've done great additions to the team so far. Let's see what happens for the rest of the transfer window, but I think it's all down to hard work, showing our quality and consistency, and we all know how difficult that is. So we will focus on ourselves, and the hard work is obviously already going. We work so hard in training, double sessions in the heat and humidity here." Asked about the new signings, the Liverpool captain added, "Coming to Liverpool, they will definitely have the quality to play for Liverpool. For me, it's very important as well how you settle in the group and how you fit into the squad that we have, and I think they did perfectly well. All of them. We don't speak about Armin, a young goalie who just came out of nowhere, has settled in pretty well. Obviously Freddie, Georgie, Flo, Jeremy. Hugo came today, of course. Everyone has to work hard, and we're all in this together. That's the main thing. We have to fight for everything that's ahead of us." Fellow senior pro Andy Robertson has been impressed by what he's seen too. He told the club website, "The lads already have settled in really well. Obviously Hugo has just come in, so we'll have our first dinner with him tonight." But Jeremy, Milos, Gio, Flo have all really settled in quite quickly, and it's as if they've been here for months now, which is pleasing. It's just up to them to then understand the standards of playing with Liverpool, and I think they're getting to grips with that already.